hi. We're back.
Give me 1 second while it's just, it's streaming live right now. Here we go. There it is. Hey. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
Okay, something's up with the sound. Give me 1 second. Let me just sort this out. All right, we got it. So we are here Wednesday, 19th of April, 2023. We welcome to you. High Vibes Up family. Welcome. As we co-host on behalf of Kid and Candy, another wonderful show. Lots of information for you today. We have a special guest as well. We're just waiting for them to join us. And I will let Diane do the introduction once we have our special guest. So we've got some really exciting information coming through today from our special guest. So very, very exciting show today. And we're just waiting for people to join in, I'm assuming. Let's see.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we're waiting for some people to come in. We've got a couple people out there already. So I'm going to be checking out the live stream just in case we have any questions for our special guest. It is a return guest. So this will be his second time on the show on High Vibes Up. And we cannot wait to bring him on. As soon as he gets here, we will be bringing him on. And this will be absolutely sure. And in the meantime, a little housekeeping. So I want to give a quick update on Kid. If you did not see the live yesterday, he did his very own live update, and he is doing quite well. He gave a report on himself, and we are loving our Kid is flourishing right now. And we send you, Kid, much love, big hugs, kisses. We love you. So I want to let everybody know that Candy has opened up her calendar again. So this is a big deal. So if you want to get on Candy's calendar, you're going to want to go to www.hvumaga.wordpress.com. www.hvumaga.wordpress.com and get on her calendar. She's amazing. She does amazing work. She does some crazy stuff I'd never even heard of before. And if you need help, call Candy. If you need help, call Candy. We need to make a song about that.
I know. You know, while we're waiting for our guest to come on, I think let's talk about the current energies that are playing up with this eclipse that's coming up, right? So I think everybody's feeling so much intensity and shakeup. It's really interesting. So, during these times, it's important to stay hydrated and just honor. If you are feeling tired, need to rest, honor it. Hydrate, eat well, eat clean. We're going through such intense times with these new energies coming in. Oh, our special guest is here. So I'm just going to come in. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. And here we go. All right. So we should have welcome.
Maybe we can put it on where all three of us are on. And
yeah, let me just adjust.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Martin, how are you?
Late.
It's all good. Hey, we were just doing some housekeeping.
Awesome.
I want to welcome you to your return visit to High Vibes Up. We really appreciate you coming here today.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I want to do a little quick intro on you, and please correct me if I'm wrong. This is Martin. It's Pytela, correct? Pytela. And he's
Pytela.
Pardon me?
Like your patella. The kneecap in Latin.
Okay. Oh, really? He's the founder of Life Enthusiasts Co-op, and he is a health coach. and he's bringing us some very vital information today. Would you like to add anything, Satnam?
Sure.
Sorry, forgive me.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Welcome, Martin. So delighted to have you here on High Vibes Up. We're so excited to have this show and everybody who's joining us in the HVU family. There are new members that are coming on board in this new learning. So we're excited to bring so much value to what you have to share today with natural healing. So we're going to turn it over to you. And I'm sure if there's any questions, we can have those afterwards.
Right.
I have a quick question.
Unfortunately, my phone system is going bonkers.
You're a man in need and demand.
I'm in demand. I forgot to tell the universe that between 5 and 6, I'm unavailable.
They'll be patient with you for sure. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm hoping that you might have some questions. I mean, I can spout off about anything, whether it's philosophy or yoga or health or whatever, right? Like, I'm happy to engage in many topics. I've had now plenty of time on the planet, so I've run into all kinds of things in my day. And I'm just trying to figure out the lighting. I wonder, should I put more light on my face just for the fun of it?
You're more than welcome to.
All right. Let's just see what happens. Nothing useful. Okay.
You've got a bit of a glow now. There you go.
Hey,
right. Awesome.
it's daylight.
Yeah, it's daylight where I am. Well, okay. So as far as what I'm all about, I got trained as CMTA, Certified Metabolic Typing Advisor, which is an interesting intersection of genetics and food, or how food will project into our health in general. And
That is interesting.
And there are two main areas that this method reveals. One of them is the endocrine dominance, and the other one is the metabolic dominance. And when it comes to the endocrine dominance, we have either thyroid, adrenal, or pituitary dominant. And with women, we could also have the ovaries dominant. With men, the testicles are always dominant, covering everything. It's like men are testicles dominant plus. Women are only sometimes pushed by their ovaries. But anyway, so the thyroid dominant people tend to be tallish and have slim limbs, like skinny ankles, skinny calves, slender. Like all of the Victoria's Secret models are the thyroid types. For some reason, the fashion moguls have decided that that is the type of the body that is the one to have.
Okay.
But if you happen to be a adrenal dominant, will be built very stocky. The calves, instead of being slim, are large, like, this big to grab, and strong. And the body is built square, deep. The chest is not small. Like they're built like a fridge.
Well, I'm not either one of those yet, so we'll fall on me somewhere.
Okay. Well, the thyroid people tend to have. Well, I'll say it this way: when a thyroid person starts putting on weight, it starts coming on in the belly and then on the thighs. So it will be the pear shape, sort of heavy in the middle. But if it goes to the extreme, where the ovaries kick in, then that accentuates the estrogen stuff. It accentuates the hips and whatnot. So these days, the Kardashian look with this super extra large booty and all of that. It's that. The natural
those were implants.
The natural would be something like Jennifer Lopez. She's
Oh,
like,
gotcha.
right. And the normal look of that is that from waist down, you're 2 sizes bigger than from waist up.
Yeah. Well, maybe I fall there.
Like anyway, so that one interesting thing is about food cravings. The thyroid types tend to crave starchy things. Like it could be either potato chips or popcorn or cake or cookie or stuff like that. The foods that the thyroid type would want to eat as a pacifier would be starchy things. Whereas the adrenal type will go for savory. And then the ovarian dominant, gonadal dominants, they like spicy, like hot, spicy food. That's what drives them. And the last one that I didn't mention, the one that's called pituitary, that's reserved for people that look a bit like a doll, Cabbage Patch doll kind of things, soft and gooey, and sort of not muscular, undefined, right?
Okay.
And their temptation foods are creamy, like yogurt and whipping cream and ice cream and that sort of thing.
No, I love ice cream.
How about it? How about it?
So this is such a fascinating subject in respects to, defining body types and food and nutrition. And this is something you've founded and something that you have really researched and put so much time, effort into bringing so much insight to us for our well-being.
Yeah.
So the questions that come up is, how do we know when we're eating right for our body types?
Right.
And that's the first question. Question number 2 would be, how do we know that we're making ourselves sick by eating the wrong foods for our body types? How do we define that? And your insights will be greatly appreciated.
Right. So, for example, the thyroid type will gain weight on starch and lose weight on fat. So ultimately, the keto diet that's so much in vogue will work for them rather well.
Mm-hmm.
And which one is that?
Ketogenic, keto?
No. Which
The thyroid type.
Thyroid. Interesting.
So the thyroid types will gain weight with the stuff that they crave, which is the starch.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people who walk past a bakery and gain a pound.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway, so that would be the weight management, for example. I'll get into the other side in a moment. So the adrenal dominant will gain weight with fat. So completely flip, right? So if you put a adrenal dominant person on a keto diet, they will in fact gain weight like you wouldn't believe. And their weight loss food would be a salad and fruit salad and veggie salad.
Mm-hmm.
And so, your typical football player who's like a linebacker, 300-pound husky fellow. And when he's finished with his sports career, he still has his habit of eating 3,500 calories a day.
Ooh.
And 14-ounce steaks are not a problem for that kind of, when you're working hard and when you're putting out a lot of physical energy, you can eat a lot of food and have no consequence. But when you stop that and you don't cut the food intake habit, you're going to start putting on weight. And so for the adrenal type, it would be that they need to go vegetarian or at least lighten up, eat more salad and smaller amounts of the fat and protein.
Wow. That's fascinating. And you came across all of this? I mean, this was your finding?
Well, this is not me. There's a wonderful fellow. His name is Elliot Abravanel. He was a devotee of Mahesh Yogi.
Yeah.
What was his first name? Oh, well, this is the TM movement, right? Transcendental meditation.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Going back into the 60s. And anyway, so Elliot was a personal doctor to Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. And he wrote several books. They published it and it's out there. And this is a specific take. I mean, there are other methods that sort that, like you hear about people being ectomorph, mesomorph, whatever morph, I forget the names for it. And they are broadly parallel to this, what I'm describing, right? Like the adrenal type will be square and large, deep chest, and I'm the thyroid type. If you look at me, especially if I stood up, you would see it. That's because I'm skinny and tall. All the volleyball players and basketball players are all thyroid types. Anyway, so
when you see a body type, when you look at somebody physically, and you say, is that something that pops into your head right away and say, oh, I know your dietary needs or what you could be suffering with, because some of the ailments in your studies have shown up, in your research has shown up. So
yeah, I couldn't read that. What's it say?
No, I was just asking Satnam if she could put all three of us on the screen at one time. We're only going on one at a time when we talk. So, people want to see me nod my head.
Hold on. One second. Is that better?
There you go. Smile.
There you go. Sorry. Is that better?
All right.
Yes.
Yep.
Here we are.
Well, I see all three of us at all times, so I don't know why that. Well, anyway, okay. So where does this lead us?
Oh, good.
So the endocrine dominance controls primarily how we gain weight and lose weight. It doesn't do much more than that. I mean, it dictates your shape, it dictates your food preferences, and it dictates how you cope with all that. So the pituitary dominant will crave creamy, starchy foods, and if they're too fat, they'll do that primarily because they're eating too much creamy stuff. And their health food, believe it or not, is the highest purine, the heart, tongue, liver, brain, all the stuff that most people have that.
And which one is this one?
It's the pituitary.
The pituitary.
They're less common. You don't see too many of them.
Yeah. Okay, so like the interesting organ meats.
Yeah.
And the tongue.
That to them, that's the health food.
Oh, wow.
Liver and onions. Anyway, so this strictly is about weight management. It doesn't do much. I don't know of any other useful information that can pop out of it other than that I can tell you by the way your body's structured and by the way your food cravings are driving you, is I can tell you how you can get out of it if you're overweight. Or if you're underweight, I can tell you, well, you need to switch, right? Like if you put a thyroid dominant person on a keto diet, you will overdo it to the point where they'll be skinny as a rail.
Wow.
Interesting.
Okay. So that's,
we're gonna need to talk more.
Sure. So that's half of the stuff that we do with the metabolic typing.
I'm looking at the chat right now, and as Martin loves nanosoma.
Yeah, Martin does love nanosoma. Okay, how do I do this? I'll show you something. Oops, no, that's not what I meant.
You want to do a screenshot?
When I unblur my background, see over my shoulder, there's a box. This is what a dozen looks like.
Oh my gosh.
And when you ship it, when you buy it one at a time.
Well, what is nanosoma and what does it do for us?
What you get is, in fact, this. This is what the box looks like.
Okay.
And then you open it up. And then with what you get is a bottle like this. And there you have it. Then you have a sprayer on it.
Mm-hmm.
So nanosoma came into my life about 2.5 years ago, maybe two years ago. And I started taking it. I started taking it at a fairly high dose because it's recommended. When you're an older person or have a chronic health condition, I'm both, you're told take 20 sprays a day, which is a bottle a week.
That's
not fun because the thing is $57 a bottle.
Right.
Is there a taste to it?
So that's an interesting thing. It's mostly water,
Not
but
really.
but depending on what's going on inside of you, you will taste something. Some people taste bitter, some people taste sour, some people taste baby vomit. Variety, but it all has to do with the user. It all reflects how they are internally.
I don't really taste much of anything when I
Well,
take it.
then you are probably in fairly good balance.
Oh,
You're
okay.
kind of ready to be on maintenance only,
I only do 5 sprays a day, so
which is the maintenance level.
okay. But what does nanosoma do for us? And
Right.
does it also associate with the, like the thyroid personality or
Yeah, okay.
body or adrenal and
Okay, yeah, I'll answer that. So
here we go.
it's the main ingredient is polycosanol, and the dose is 2.5 milligram per day, which is not that much.
No.
The 5 sprays is the 2.5 milligrams of the polycosanol, and the polycosanol is richly present in many foods. It's in sugarcane, wheat, rice, peanut butter or peanuts. It's in that, but not concentrated. And the inventor, Dr. Raghavan, he came up with being able to make it water soluble and make it small particle.
Oh, wow.
And he called it nano-sized. It's measured in nanometers, 60 nanometers to be exact. And what that means is that when something is at that size, it can actually get inside of cells quite readily. And polycosanol is a waxy substance, but it's actually an alcohol.
Okay. From the sugar cane.
So this one is extracted from the sugar cane, made water soluble with some solvents. I forget what they use, but anyway, it's a substance that makes it water soluble, and that makes it capable of getting inside your cells.
Okay. So is it like a preservative of the molecule that goes into the cell?
It's an optimizer of function. It's like a catalyst. And the first thing it optimizes, it gets inside of the cells and the mitochondria, and it optimizes your energy function, your ability to convert food into energy. So especially people who have glucose dysregulation, high glucose, needing insulin, stuff like that, they really benefit greatly, because we've had people whose glucose is running at 200 or some crazy number like that, start taking nanosoma, and within a day or two, they are in normal range.
Wow.
Around 100 or thereabouts. So that's one. The other thing it regulates is the blood pressure issues. So a lot of people who are on the high side, they end up just down-regulating into normal range.
Wow. How long does that usually take?
2-3 days.
Oh my God, I'm taking my dad to the cardiologist on Friday.
Yeah.
So what kind of, the 5 doses, the 5 squirts, or?
Well, so this is complicated in the following manner.
Okay.
If you are taking pharmaceuticals to control your symptoms, nanosoma will start normalizing your symptoms, so your pharmaceuticals will be overdriving the change. Like I've had, for example, people who are on metformin start on this and then wake up with shakes, hypoglycemic shock, because they just overdid it.
Right.
Likewise, with the blood pressure, you may be fainting for your blood pressure being too low after you get on nanosoma, if you're also taking medicine, pharmaceuticals that are regulating that. So you need to be watching. You need to be.
How do you introduce that?
Well, number one, you should be able to check your blood pressure. You should have a cuff on hand.
Got it.
And then you check regularly. And then then you need to negotiate either with your doctor, or if you feel empowered to drive yourself, then you need to downregulate the stuff that you use to regulate your blood pressure.
Oh, I'm so all over this. You have no idea.
So this does work. It lowers inflammation. There are multiple patents issued for this product. This was the funny story. The inventor created this or put it together in 2010. And he started selling it in India and in Malaysia. And he made a lot of sales and took the time to actually register patents in the United States.
Mhm.
So this product wasn't introduced here until 2019.
Right.
Only after he had a patent for skin problems like psoriasis and eczema, for cancer, certain cancers, and for the diabetic issues and for the blood pressure issues. These are actual patents. Like you can read all of the lines in there explaining that he, in fact, has the papers that tell him, but yes, it does it. It's been documented. You can't argue with it.
That's incredible. So would something like this help the body with, like, mental stress or depression?
Okay, I'll get into that in just a moment.
Perfect. I got a list of questions.
Sure. Yeah, happy to engage. And so this nanosoma, number one, you ask, what does it do? One, it regulates the mitochondria, which means that you will have food to energy conversion optimized. Two, it regulates cell receptors. There are about 48 or 49 various receptors. Like, for example, what's it called? T3 receptor.
Mm-hmm. So Hashimoto's?
Yeah, those. So that's one of the receptors, or vitamin D receptor, or vitamin C receptor. And the way this stuff works, or insulin receptor, the way this stuff works is you have a cell that has the membrane, and on the membrane you have these receptors. And for example, in case of glucose, you have circulating glucose, and with it comes insulin. And on the cell surface, insulin comes in and says, knock, knock, I have glucose, please take it. And there's supposed to be this opposing particle that comes into the membrane from within and says the magical open sesame, things open, and the glucose is introduced in. The insulin doesn't come in, and the internal regulator doesn't come out. Just the glucose is allowed to pass through. So in case of the insulin resistance, the insulin comes, says knock, knock, lets the glucose in, and the internal response is no go, right? So these various receptors get optimized by the presence of this polycosanol. So you will need less stuff in order to function well. So you will need less vitamin C or less vitamin B or D or whatever in order to get the proper function. You'll have better utilization of the nutrients.
So can we use this on our skin, that spray nanosoma?
You can, but it's an internal problem. The company makes 3 products. They make the nanosoma spray, as I showed you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have it handy somewhere here. I don't remember where I put it, but
they have a gel.
There's a gel and there's a cream. And the gel is essentially the same thing as in the spray, but it's thickened with, if I could just remember which that is.
Aloe?
Xanthan gum.
Okay, awesome.
So it's edible, but it's thick. And most people have used it on skin issues. It works awesome on hemorrhoids. It works well on other problems. Like I remember this one lady called me and she said, this metasomer is awesome. It took my knee pain away.
Oh, I read about that.
And I said to her, well, how long did it take? And she said, on contact.
Yeah.
like there, gone, which is weird, right? Like said, some kind of an energetic change. I don't know what the heck that was.
So could I use that spray? My mom has had back surgery, and back surgery to get her out of pain, that now she's in constant pain after having the back surgery.
Poor woman.
Yeah, I know. Can I spray that on her?
You can.
or
The only
get the gel?
disadvantage is that it runs off, right? So that's why you
Right.
would want to have the gel to put on it because it sticks. The
Okay,
disadvantage is that it costs 87 instead of 57 for the bottle.
I saw that,
And then there's the cream, which
which is
anti-aging, lovely, lovely, lovely cream. They put hemisqualane into the cream, which is the most wonderful, fluffy
Yeah.
kind of like, it's sort of like clouds in a jar. And
Oh.
putting it on your skin just feels marvelous. And people tell me, I can put it right next to my eye, no reaction, whatever. Like, it's a lovely cream. But it's only for people who are swimming in money because they're asking $137 for the ounce.
I saw that, and you are talking to a master esthetician here.
Yeah.
So, the thought of, oh God, do I have to buy this too, just so I could see?
Yeah. I mean, we can send you one at a discount, but we can't do it every day because we'll go.
Understood.
But anyway, so it's there and it's lovely. And I have seen it truly restore normal function. The one side issue with that is that it's scented with natural vanilla.
Really?
So people who like vanilla, great. My wife hates vanilla. She can't stand the smell of it. So even though I want to use it, she won't let me near her if I have it on.
Oh no. Maybe you could add a few drops of lavender to it, and
That's
it would.
sort of like
it would-
that's sort of like trying to drown out rock music by playing something classical, right?
Well, yeah,
Now
but
you
it
have
might.
lots of noise.
It might be able to kind of make it a zero.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe, I don't know. If you find an antidote to vanilla smell, let me know.
I will find an antidote, and I will let you know.
All right, awesome. So we were on point 2, which is the receptor sites,
Yes.
and the receptors get optimized. And so, for example, with vitamin D, whatever you have, you'll use better or more effectively, right? It doesn't absolve you from taking vitamin D.
Right.
You need it. You could acquire it by running around naked in the sunshine, or you need to take a supplement, but you will utilize better whatever you have.
That is incredible.
So therefore, right, like the vitamin D3 deficiency leads to bone loss, cancer, immune, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So when you have this on board, you will have less of that.
That's and so even with bone density, correct?
Yeah.
Ah,
Right.
okay.
So people who are on this longer term have better results. Their tests improve and so on.
Okay, so for some,
The third thing. Oh,
Go
no,
ahead.
should I go ahead or you want to ask?
no, you go.
I'm good. I can keep track of myself.
That's okay. Go ahead. I've got a list of questions here.
Mhm. Okay, so the third thing is DNA repair.
Oh,
There's this thing called reverse transcriptase, which is an enzyme that pushes into your DNA whatever's going on in your life. So when you're encountering RNA stuff, such as messenger RNA things that are coming at you either through injection
Yeah.
or
Sensitive words. I think there's
interactions,
the
right?
C word. Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how you acquire it, right?
Yes.
It's when it's in your body, it will start messing around with your DNA. That's what its job is. I mean, early on in the early 2020, when they were first introducing the campaign, I remember guys saying, there's no way that mRNA is going to change your DNA. Except that's total bullshit. It does. Because the reverse transcriptase enzyme's job is to, in fact, evolve us. We are supposed to evolve through interacting with our environment, and we do. That's how we evolve.
Right.
So when the mRNA gets in, it makes changes. And so it depends, right? Sometimes it's for evolution's sake to make you more adapted to your current environment. Sometimes it's introduced with the intention of having you shut down sooner.
Understood. We're
So-
gonna remain
this-
YouTube friendly.
Yeah. So this thing, this nanosoma,
Yeah.
unwinds those changes. It reverses you back to the original design. So when your cells replicate, they drop
Wow.
those modifications.
This is
That
exciting.
is monstrous.
That's huge. That's
Well,
one.
Yeah, Richard, what's his name? Presser. Dr. Richard Presser, who's the guy from whom we buy this and with whom I've recorded several seminars or talks, says, I won't be surprised if 10 years from now, only people who are taking nanosoma will be the ones running around.
Oh my goodness. That's phenomenal.
Right? I don't know to what degree these newly introduced genetic modifications are going to affect us. I mean, some people have been already affected seriously, right?
Yes. Mortally.
Oh yeah, yeah. There are exits, many.
Wow.
So this will work. Yeah.
That is unbelievable. And I love it.
So your 5 sprays a day is enough to keep you pretty much on the normal path.
I think
Now, is this something you can take in the evening, or is it something that would keep you awake if you took it in the evening?
No.
Or
No, it will not.
okay.
No, anytime. I mean, I have a bottle in the bathroom and bottle in the kitchen and bottle in the office, and I hit it every time I go by.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what would be any of the benefits if I were to do more than the 5 a day?
All right. So we have people with, well, I'll tell you my own story. That will be probably best.
Okay.
So as a 10-year-old, I was sick with a liver disease, hepatitis.
Oh, wow.
As a 15-year-old, I got mononucleosis, Epstein-Barr. As a 22-year-old, I acquired HPV.
Wow.
Oh, and as an 18-year-old, I remember kissing my girlfriend who had a cold sore. And then when I was 24, I had the first cold sore of my own, right? That was herpes zoster.
Yeah.
Well, so when I got on this, I started gingerly. I started with the 5 sprays a day. And then I decided, well, no, I'm just going to go for it. So I did the 20 sprays, 5 sprays, morning, lunch, dinner, bedtime, and repeat. And on my
Okay.
5th bottle, I came into the health crisis. Like, I'm familiar with detox and I'm familiar with health crisis. Most natural healings are done by retracing. When you're getting out of an illness that's chronic, you're going to go backwards over your symptoms,
Oh,
except less intense. So, for example, when it was to turn for the herpes,
uh,
the normal course of action for herpes for me would be I get tingles for about a day, then these little vesicles start breaking out. They look like little bubbles.
mhm.
That's usually 2 days of that. And on about day 4 or 5, I get a scabby, oozy, yucky thing. And in about day 10, the whole thing is healed and fell off. That's the classic run of herpes for me on my lips.
Right.
So in this case, it was at 2 p.m., I was getting tingles. At 4 p.m., I was getting vesicles. At 6 p.m., I had scab. And the next morning, I woke up with my mouth just as good as new.
Wow.
So that's a retracing. You're going over the terrain, but quick.
This is huge.
Yeah. So then the second thing, I did go over the Epstein-Barr. That happened. Epstein-Barr is a chronic fatigue for me. And so one day, 2-3 days later, 2 p.m., I was done. I slept for 12 hours more, 18 hours. I was just done.
Right.
Woke up after that long sleep and I was just, okay, I think that was that.
Oh my God, I have so many people I want to get on this.
Right. And then the third one, the HPV, that was really interesting. That came on as a burning urethra. That was like fire in the urethra. And I thought, oh, and I know what this is about. And again, it was one afternoon. Like you go pee and it just burns like hell.
Yeah.
Then it was over, done. So I surmise from that. I'm not tested, right? But I surmise from that it's done. I know for sure that my tiredness is gone, and I know for sure that I haven't had a breakout in 2 years.
That is incredible.
So I have a question on the usage of this. Does it help with parasites, people who have parasites?
I wouldn't say that. I don't think so. I mean, it's the general statement is helps the body get rid of everything that doesn't belong. However, parasite is typically attacking the body that has low mineralization, right? Like if you could raise your zeta potential, if you could raise more trace mineral and other mineral levels in your body, the parasites won't like it. They cannot infect a strong person. So if I did think I had parasites, I would do a parasite cleanse.
Yeah.
I would use the famous horse paste.
Yep.
To drive that out. We have others, right? Like the walnut husk and
Wormwood and
stuff. We sell those things on our website, but you probably have direction for people how to do that.
oh, we would love your website.
Are you guys part of the affiliate system with us? I don't know.
High Vibes Up, I just don't know.
I don't know. I'd have to look it up, which would take me off screen.
Nope. If you want to give us
the website is life-enthusiast.com.
So a dash, like a
I'll just type it
backslash.
in.
Okay.
And is this safe for pets to take?
Absolutely. People have been giving it to their dogs and cats all the time. The typical lap dog, the 5-6 pounders, just 1 or 2 sprays. 1 is enough. On the nose, they'll lick it.
What
With
about
cats,
a kitten? Yeah.
with cats, you usually spray it on their paw and they'll lick it up.
Awesome. This is wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, that is huge. All of us have so
I've
many
had people-
creatures.
Yeah, I've had people tell me that their tired old dogs are acting childish again. Like, the dogs that are just, let's not go for a walk today, saying, oh, they bring him the what is it called?
Leash.
The leash, yeah. Please come.
That is awesome.
I'm excited.
It has been like that, and it has had that effect on me. Like I was feeling less spunky 2 years ago than I am now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep. Okay, so that's the story of the nanosoma in nutshell. Energy, correction of the functioning through the receptor sites, and repairs, right? So genetically, I think we're de-aging. We're getting less old as we go, at least functionally, right?
When we take other natural supplements, does this somehow interact with it, or does it enhance it?
Well, it utilizes everything better. So as you improve your intake or the receptors, then less will go further. So you have no excuse to not have good nutrition. So if you can eat organic, biodynamically grown food, then you probably don't even need to supplement. But that's kind of rare. So, I mean, I still take 5,000 IUs of vitamin D because I don't get enough sunshine. I just don't.
Right. What part of whereabouts are you living? We don't want the exact place, but like
I'm on
country.
the West Coast in the rainforest. So I'm cloudy most of the times.
West Coast of the United States?
Well, you didn't want the location.
Just West Coast.
No.
No.
Okay,
West Coast is fine.
awesome,
Yes.
perfect. You're not getting a lot of sun. Gotcha.
Well, the reason I'm not getting a lot of sun is because I'm locked. To see the sunshine is streaming behind me,
Yeah.
but I'm here in front of the mic.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I got the sunshine out here too. I'm on
Yes.
the West Coast.
Yeah, there you go. So, so that was the story. The third point was the DNA, right? The DNA repair. So when we are running with that, we are likely to last longer, or at least functionally better. Like there are many stories. People ask me, does it correct condition A, condition B, condition C, whatever, right? And they throw these names like blood pressure, cancer, diabetes, blah, blah, blah. And the answer is, this is not a drug. This is not formulated or patented to improve any specific medical condition. However, it repairs individual cells to function at optimal levels. So when I take away the dysfunction and dis-ease, what am I left with?
Health.
A
The
healthy
goodness.
body.
Yeah.
Right. So that was you interrupted with saying, well, what about nanosoma? So I want to tell you the other part of the metabolic typing story, which
Please.
has to do with mental health. And it's something like this. The balance on your plate between protein, fats, and carbohydrate drives the pH balance. And the pH balance works like this. When you become more alkaline than balanced, the first thing you notice is procrastination. And then if you go deeper into more alkaline, you get into despondence. And when you get really far out into the alkaline range, then you go into depression. Just out and out depressed. Just pull the cover over and don't call me. Just, I don't want to see the world. I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm done. That's over alkaline.
And that's triggered just by eating the wrong foods.
Well, not the wrong foods, the combinations. I'll explain that in a sec.
Sure.
And then the acidity starts as impatience, and then it drives into loss of social graces. You start interrupting people, just cutting them off. Further in comes in just can't stand people, bitchy, just bitchy. And rage and road rage. That's all acidity, like further. Now, when this is directed externally, it comes out as anger. When it is directed internally, it comes in as self-recrimination, anxiety.
Oh, wow.
So you have depression on the alkaline end, and you have anxiety on the acidic end. The two most popular dysregulations going. And here's how it works. There are two body types, or two regulatory mechanisms. One's called lipo-oxidation and the other one is called carbo-oxidation. So if you are, well, the two labels that are used in this system, one is called oxidizer and the other one is called autonomic. And the oxidizers, we have a fast oxidizer or slow oxidizer. And in the autonomic, we have a sympathetic or parasympathetic. So if you are a fast oxidizer, you're super efficient at converting food into energy, whereas the slow oxidizer is not. And the oxidizers are alkalized by fats and acidified by starch, carbs, which is backwards from how many books are written. Most books are written for the autonomic, where they say, eat protein and fat, go acid. That is true for the autonomic. And they are alkalized by starches, carbohydrates. And the best way you can sort people out is if you ever invite them to a cocktail party where alcohol is served, because that's a strong carbohydrate, right? So when autonomics consume alcohol, they become more emotional. They start sharing more, to a point of oversharing and then crying about it and then falling asleep. Whereas an oxidizer is being acidified by this. So with each succeeding drink, they get louder, then they get in your face, and then they start picking a fight. They are mean drunks.
Yeah.
Those are oxidizers.
Got it.
So
Wow.
how to deal with it on your plate? So a salad, vegetables are kind of neutral. Taking rice with it would be starchy. And taking olive oil and piece of fish with it would be protein and fat. Or just a single item. A potato is very starchy. You put butter and sour cream on top of it. Now you're pushing fats and proteins on it, right?
Right.
So if you want to do an experiment to figure out what you are, eat 2 bananas with a bowl of porridge, which is a carbo shock, right? And that will either drive you into the acidic, ornery, bitchy mood, anxiety, if you're the oxidizer, or it will drive you into depression and sleepiness if you're the autonomic. And then you want to do a challenge test the opposite way, which would be something like, I don't know, a spoonful of coconut oil straight off the spoon, maybe 2 spoons, just a sizable amount, right? Just eat a bunch of coconut oil. So if it makes you calmer, you're an oxidizer. If it makes you more anxious or jittery or unsettled, you're an autonomic. So you're one or the other. And so once you understand what you are, now you understand it's sort of like left-handed, right-handed, right? Like you can play the guitar this way or this way, but you can't have it both ways. You're one or the other.
Right.
So you can't play a left-handed guitar the right-handed way.
That is incredible.
Same with the food. If you're an oxidizer, you will always be made more anxious by starch and more calm by fat. And if you're the autonomic, it's the other way around. And so a fast oxidizer wakes up in the morning, early in the morning, ready to roll, because they're acidic. Acidity drives, those are the drivers. Those are the go get them, get people. Whereas the alkaline people, like the parasympathetic, would not wake up until 8:30 or 9 if you let them. And they are very friendly and jovial and well liked, but they don't get much done. So they both need fat to bring them closer to the middle. So the fast oxidizer, if you give them fruit salad for breakfast, it's going to make them really unpleasant, impatient like you wouldn't believe. If you get a fruit salad to a parasympathetic in the morning, you're going to make them depressed. They get absolutely nothing done that day. However, if you give that to the sympathetic, they become pleasant and agreeable. If you give that to the slow oxidizer, they crawl out of their little shell and start getting things done. So you need to drive the people toward the middle by giving them the right food.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So now we have the opportunity for conflict, right? So if you're the thyroid type, you will get slimmer by fat. If, however, you are a slow oxidizer, at the same time, you're going to get depressed by pushing fat. So now you're going to be skinny depressed.
So what's the cure for that? Or
it's a conflict.
Balance.
You need to find some way to balance it.
Yeah.
So if you're lucky and you're a fast oxidizer, thyroid type, then you're going to be skinny happy. If you're a parasympathetic and thyroid type, steak and fat makes you happy and skinny. So there's this, we need to work it out. Sometimes you get lucky with your genetic draw and you will have an easy time of it. And sometimes it's complicated. And this is where this health coach business with the metabolic typing comes in, where we need to fiddle with these things such that we keep people out of mental hospital, but happy, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's how long has this taken you to establish the different types of bodies and the combinations of
Well,
foods?
again, I am just a student of it. I am a certified metabolic typing advisor. The fellow whose books I've read is Bill Walcott, and he put the certification courses out there. This book called Metabolic Typing has been out since 1987. And even before then, we knew about oxidizers, we knew about autonomics. We just didn't have it put together, knowing that you're one or the other. Mm-hmm. Like, these books have been around for the longest time. It's just that Bill discovered the bit where you understand that you're going to be one or the other.
So if I wanted to establish my type, my dietary needs, for example, I'm a vegetarian and I don't eat any meat.
Right.
So I would fall into a certain category, I'm assuming, and only certain types of food would make me happy and cheery and, align my body accordingly.
Well, the starch versus fat balance still plays, right? Mm-hmm. So you will be playing this with starch as in rice or potato, and fat as in ghee and olive oil and coconut oil, right? Like, you can manage it as a vegetarian, not a problem. Mm-hmm. So you just know after you've done the test, right? Like I mentioned, a spoonful of coconut oil as your fat challenge, and 2 bananas with some oatmeal as your carb challenge, right? So after you've done your 2 challenges, this one makes me sleepy. This one makes me just so overdrive. Mm. So then you put it together.
Right.
They're each other's antidotes, right?
That's interesting, because I'm a carnivore.
Fine.
Yeah. So, and I do a lot of proteins and fat, and that's how I felt my best.
Well,
months ago.
Are your moods balanced, or are they out of balance?
I think they're fairly balanced. I mean,
then you found your thing. Now, you can do this as a vegetarian. It's just that protein is harder to come by, right?
Right.
That's the challenge of the vegetarian. But yeah, I mean,
I've been finding it difficult to get a lot of things done around here. I care for my parents 24/7, so they live with me. So, you might have to drop whatever you're doing at the drop of a hat and, go handle something. So, getting back into it has been an issue with me, in the middle of some construction here. Yeah. So, how would I go about handling that possibly?
Well, as long as you got it worked out, as long as you are in balance, you found it, right? Like,
I have another question related to being in balance in the body physically due to how we eat and what the pH levels are in the body. That also kind of affects our frequency as to where our cells are resonating and how we align with our inner being and the rest of it. Yeah. And so are you able to kind of shed some light along those lines?
Well, I would say that the enzyme is the spark of life in a human body. Mm-hmm. And the enzyme is only existent in uncooked food. So as long as you eat salads or fruit salad, then you're okay, right? for the enzyme supply. If you're eating mostly cooked food, you need to supplement the digestive enzyme. No exception. The second thing is vibrationally, right? There are higher vibration food, lower vibration food. You find not only meat or no meat, but how the meat was raised, right?
Exactly.
If the animal lived a stressed life, it's going to hand you over very stressy hormones.
Yep.
I've been talking too long and my throat is starting to go.
Do you need some water?
I need some water, but I didn't bring it.
Do you need a moment?
Oh, he is so awesome.
Just incredible information that's coming forward, because I think this is amazing for everybody's well-being. And it's important how we need to pay more attention. And this awareness that's coming forward, again, relates to conscious living, how we are living, what we're putting on our bodies, what we're putting on the inside of our bodies too. Not only supplements, but also the foods we eat, how it's interacting with different levels of illnesses in the body just because we're not eating right and it's not balanced. So I think this is another world that's just opening up for our awareness to kind of say, okay, you know what, let's pay a little bit more attention as to what we're putting in the body as far as what we eat, how we eat. That raises the vibration once more to the next level, that allows us to be more aligned to receive more of the energies that we're feeling. So I think that's wonderful. Are you muted? I can't hear you, Martin.
Yes, I was muted.
Yeah.
I could talk all I want. So
Welcome back. Yes.
I would like to pump in this following.
Yes.
The metabolic typing is based on genetics. And the genetics are like this. People up to maybe 300-400 years ago have lived in fairly defined environments, meaning the travel was a fairly rare thing. Most people were born into a village and moved 1 or 2 villages over, and there they were. When Weston A. Price went around the world, I think it was 1930 something, and there still is a Weston A. Price Foundation.
Yeah.
With his information promoting indigenous food. What he found was that as long as people ate the indigenous diet, that which was their ancestors' diet, they did well. And when they switched to the industrial produced diets, they started having genetic defects, bad teeth, bad ears, collapsing jaws, crowded teeth, smaller ears, all kinds of problems.
Right.
And what was interesting, he went to, I think, 11 different places. And so this is tied to the following. So a little boy in the year 1200 AD is born in a Swiss village in the Alps. He's going to grow up in a family that eats rye bread, dry cheese, sauerkraut all winter long. On Sundays, they kill 1 chicken. And in February, because it's cold, they'll butcher the pig. That's their thing.
Right.
That's the Swiss diet. So if he's matched to it genetically, he thrives. But if he's mismatched, he doesn't. And he probably doesn't make his puberty. It was so common for a woman in those years to have 12 pregnancies, but only see 4 of them grow up.
Oh my God.
Because there were illnesses and there were incidents and accidents and whatever. So if your family lives in Norway, 55 or 60 degrees north, you have a growing season that's only 3 months long, you are highly dependent on the fish like cod and salmon, and you have a limited amount of fresh food, vegetable type of stuff. For 3 months out of a year, you grow some cabbage and then you have to make sauerkraut, and that's the end of that.
Right.
As opposed to something more tropical, like, I don't know, coastal, or not coastal, inland India, 25 degrees north, you're going to be in tropics, and you will have easy access to fruit and vegetables year round. No problem. So it's a lot easier genetically to be a vegetarian with the closer to the equator genetics than it is from farther from the equator.
Is there a huge significance in that location parameter for the quality of food, or is it so living closer to the equator gives you a higher level of nutrition in your food?
Not necessarily, the Norwegians have solved it by eating wild food, wild fish, which is loaded with nutrients. It's just that it's less kind, spiritually, perhaps less harmonious way of being, because you're now living off of the creatures rather than off of the plants.
Right.
So I would have a question about, like Native American Indians. I am part Native American Indian, so I'm just curious how that would work.
Well, so on the prairie, they followed the buffalo.
Right.
So they were very well accustomed and adapted to red meat, because buffalo is like dark red meat.
Yeah.
And they would harvest berries and made pemmican with bear fat, like that. So they would be well adapted to the high protein, high fat diet. Keto works for the prairie American. Whereas, but I mean, there are some Native Americans in the southern bits where they grew corn and were practically vegetarians, right?
Right.
So those are not interchangeable. Like I cannot take the Norwegian person with Norwegian genes, send them to Florida and feed them oranges and I don't know what.
Papaya,
it's not interchangeable. Like it's impossible to take a person who's healthy on a tropical diet. I cannot send them to Norway and thrive. It's not going to work. They will not.
Yeah, the sun alone.
Yeah, the sun alone, sure.
Yeah.
I have a question with regards to people who eat a lot of meat and not enough vegetables and fruits. How does that kind of affects the chemical reaction in the body?
Yeah, well, the number one problem is fiber.
Mm.
Like if you don't get enough fiber, then you have putrefying proteins in your gut, and you're going to have elimination issues, and you'll be toxic, right?
So eating just meat.
Yeah, but eating meat is it's not a simple story, right? One way of eating meat is that you have something that you boil or make soups out of, in a healthy manner. And another way is that you have deep fryer stuff and meat that's been raised in a factory setting, that's been deep fried and all of that. So, the fried chicken diet is very different from bone broth free range chicken diet.
Mm-hmm.
So calling it the meat diet requires quite a bit of nuance. Likewise with the vegetarian, right? Like you can have a super unhealthy vegetarian.
Yeah.
Because I think we cook everything, don't we?
That's well, because a lot of the vegetables, all the pulses like the lentils and chickpeas and blah, 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 whatever, it all needs cooking, right?
Yeah.
But there should be salads.
So what if a vegetarian sprouted or soaked the lentils and just had it like a raw salad mixed in? That would add benefit to, rather than cooking the foods mostly.
Right. Yeah, sprouted is super wonderful. Yes, sprouted everything, right?
Okay.
Right.
Sprouted seeds. You see, when you start sprouting, there is an important change that happens with a seed. This goes for seeds, pulses, grains, nuts. All of them have this phytoestrogenic effect. There is this protection that they have that has them mess around with our hormonal system. And this function is disabled the moment the enzymes kick off the growth. So you can take a cup of lentils, put them on water for 3-4 hours, dump the water, because that's going to be loaded with the estrogenic stuff, and then cook them and you'll be fine. Or you leave them longer, right? Like you do the rinse and sprout, and you maybe takes 4 or 5 days for them to sprout about yay long.
Mm.
And they're super healthy at that point. So you can mix sprouted seeds into your salads, and you can, of course, cook with the seeds too. Just, yeah, sprouted or soaked is much better than not.
Noted. That's huge. Thank you for that, because I know the way we've been cooking and how we have been living, everything's microwaved and everything's super quick and fast. And that's another element that we're kind of destroying the foods and the nutrition in whatever little there was. What are you eating now?
Yeah, vibrational issues are important.
Yes.
Water is a very curious thing. It has within itself the ability to remember things. And this is done by virtue of the water molecule being bipolar. It has the OH end, the alkaline, and the H end, the acidic end. And these water molecules cluster together. And this clustering allows them to remember. So homeopathy works because of that. Or there have been experiments done where Masaru Emoto did these pictures of crystals where he was showing that when you're nice to water, when you play good music to it or talk kindly to it, it will produce beautifully symmetrical crystals. Whereas when you treat it miserably, it will not. It will be amorphous and ugly and whatever.
Mhm.
So that's the storage of memory within water. And so we have these gadgets, like I'll show you. For example, I have this gadget here. This we call the star chamber receiver. And in it, we have a cupcake and large pearl, medium pearl, and small pearl. So these are glued together for the fun of it. And so this is a vibrational antenna. And I put aromatherapy on top of it.
Not vanilla.
No, this one that I just ran is spikenard.
So, and what do you do with that? You charge your water with that?
Oh, so you can put this in a hot tub, or you can just we sell these separately too, not just glued together, and you can use them to charge your water. Yeah, and what
That's
that does,
gorgeous.
it breaks apart or discharges the electric energies that are holding these clusters together, so that
Oh, wow.
the water is sort of like if you were to imagine a wall and somebody will deface the wall with ugly graffiti. That's the water flowing through industrial process pipes and whatever. It comes to you with remembering all kinds of nasty stuff. So when you put that water with these ceramic beads, it will discharge the memory. It's like whitewashing the wall and having it just plain again.
Oh, I love that.
That's beautiful. Yes.
Yeah.
So could you put one of those inside of a water purification system,
Sure.
without the essential oils, of course,
Yeah.
but just
Oh yeah, no, I just use this one here in my office to broadcast happy smells.
I love that.
Yeah,
Do you sell them glued together like that?
yeah. It's called Star Chamber Receiver.
Got it.
We're going to go to your website and do some shopping on there, I believe. And we're going to find some fascinating things. I'm excited to.
I'll show you one other gadget. I have this thingy here. And this one is called ADR4. I don't know if that's visible or not.
Yeah. What is there?
So this is a disc about the size of my palm,
Uh-huh.
and it has in it some embedded technology. I'll show you the other one. This one is called ADR3. The ADR3 looks like this.
Ooh, that's cool.
And it's the similar technology. It sort of looks like a galaxy, right?
Yeah, I like it.
And what it does, like, if you, I hold my hand over top of it about this high, I can feel the cold stream of electrons streaming out from this thing. It somehow manages to create this sort of spatial clearing of all geopathic affairs, like
Wow.
underground water streams, overhead power lines, electric lines running all around you, stuff like that. It just optimizes the vibrational space of it. So anyway, that technology is encased in plastic, and you can, whatever you place on top of it will be harmonized.
Structure.
It's a harmonizer. So you can microwave your food and then put it on this, and it will put it back together as it should be.
Oh,
That's amazing.
what other kind of cool things do you have on your website? I mean, you just keep bringing out more things.
Well, how much
It's your
time
bag
do
of
you have?
tricks.
You know, like I have, you see, like I have had 40 years of this, so I've put myself together after I was very much not together. My journey started with mercury poisoning.
Oh my.
25-year-old, I had 12 mercury amalgam fillings put in my mouth. I didn't know any different, any better, whatever. And it broke me. It broke me really badly.
Oh my God.
About 10 years in, at age 35, I had this cannot go on. I went to doctors, chiropractors, naturopaths, aromatherapists, you name it, all kinds of people asking questions. And they were all well-meaning people wanting to help me deal with my problems, which were I was having allergies, weight gain, back pain, headaches, whatever, right? Like I was falling apart because of the toxicity.
Right.
But I didn't know it, and they didn't know it. So at about 35, I had this, you're going to have to figure this out. They are not going to help you. You're going to have to help yourself. You know, because my original degree is in computer science and business administration. I'm a systems analyst by trade. So it was this, well, analyze this. And so having to analyze how the medical system approaches things, the first thing that became obvious is that they never ask, and why is that? They say, you have a high blood pressure? Well, let's lower it. We know how to lower blood pressure, and they just hit you with either a diuretic or beta channel blocker or inhibitor or whatever. They don't ask, but why? And so once I started asking the back problem, right? Like I was going to an orthopedic surgeon, and he said, well, we can operate on this. We can fuse your discs. And I said, well, but why are my discs weak? Well, it was because of the mercury, but he didn't know that, nor did he ask the right question.
And how did you discover that?
I had a hair analysis done, HTMA, hair trace mineral analysis, and it came off the charts high in mercury. So then I thought, well, I don't eat a lot of tuna. Why would I have mercury? It took me 2 years to realize that it was in my teeth. I just, like it was not obvious. Like I did not associate it. It was called silver fillings. It wasn't called mercury amalgam silver fillings.
Right.
Wow. So anyway, once I understood it, then it took me about 5 years to unwind all of this craziness.
Now, just out of curiosity, did you have to go to a special dentist to have them removed, or did your dentist?
Well,
I just asked this question to my dentist.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. The fillings going in, they were about $100 each.
Yeah.
The fillings going out were about $1,000 each. And the in between $100,000 of medical care that this beautiful gift had caused.
Oh my God.
So by the time I knew all this, at about 45, I didn't have the money to do it. So I only gave myself a gift to my 55th birthday and had it out then. So yes, it was a bio-aware dentist.
Mm-hmm.
It was quite the operation. It was done with strong air suction and rubber dams and zeolite and chlorella and homeopathics and whatever, the whole thing. The guys that were doing the work were wearing super high filtration masks and all of that. They treated this like a hazardous waste site, which
I was told that the gas from it alone being trapped in there, even though it's just microscopic, is bad.
People who go to a dentist to have their fillings drilled out end up with worse problems than they had before.
And what are some of those problems that they might?
Well, it's the mercury toxicity. Mercury
Right.
is super toxic. It affects your nerves and your endocrine system. And I mean, you name it. I mean, anything. And in my case, it was hypothyroidism, back problems, allergies, weight gain, periodontal problems. I don't know, those were my symptoms. Other people will have multiple sclerosis, or
They'll get that from the filling or from the removal of the filling, or both.
Well, it doesn't matter how you get the mercury in. So when it goes in and it's in, you have now trace going, small amount all the time, that keeps accumulating because your body doesn't have the filtration capacity. So when you drill it out, you now have a massive
Release.
Industrial accident, right?
Right. Yeah, I was just speaking to a dental surgeon regarding that, because I have 2 small ones still in my mouth. Regardless, they're time bombs to me, and I want them removed. And I asked him, do you know anybody that does that? And he told me, you're better off just leaving them.
I agree with that.
Really?
I would stay with zeolite as a daily insurance. Zeolite is a very effective binder of mercury and lead and other heavy metals.
Okay.
I would just be taking a 1 or so capsule of zeolite every day.
I will take that.
I do that to this day. I still take zeolite. And the reason I do that is because I live in an urban setting. I get in my car, I'm inhaling the brake pad dust that's from all the cars braking all around me. I inhale the rubber dust. I eat fish. I eat tuna. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I take zeolite all the time as an insurance policy.
So real quick, when you take the zeolite, do you take that separate from other things that you're taking?
No,
so it doesn't take away from?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't affect other things. It only binds the heavy metals. It doesn't bind other things.
Oh, awesome. I didn't know
I have
that.
a question about fluoride, because again, that's another thing that we are. I don't know how much time you have left available for this.
I'll keep talking if you and your audience are into it. I'll go.
All right. I think everybody's tuned in, and there's so much valuable information coming forth for everybody's well-being. It's appreciated.
Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned fluoride. Well, fluoride in general will affect your endocrine system, both your thyroid and especially your pituitary. And it downregulates it. So your endocrine system will be less effective. And of course, the pituitary and pineal, that's your third eye. So your vision, your inner vision, your place in your universe will be diminished. You will be less visionary and more docile.
Mm-hmm. And this is again the conscious living of choosing what kind of toothpaste that you use.
Yeah.
Choosing how we filter and purify our water that we use.
Yeah.
And some of the devices that you just showed us.
No, the only effective removal of fluoride is either a reverse osmosis filtration or what's that thing called? Distillation.
Oh, okay.
Right. But just complete removal. You need to reduce the ppm down to 0 or close to.
Okay.
We do have something called a Prills, which is a cheap ceramic thingy that allows about 80% reduction in the fluoride
And we
So
can find that on your
it's not
site.
perfect, but it does a decent job of it on a budget.
That is awesome. I'm writing that down.
Thank you.
You know, I haven't used fluoride toothpaste in probably 40 years. When they just first started coming out with unfluorinated toothpaste, everybody thought I was crazy.
Mm.
And, you know, in the last 2 years, my husband and I went on a vacation and I forgot the toothpaste. And the only thing that was available was everything had fluoride in it. And I just said, screw it. I bought a box of baking soda. I'm over. I'm not.
Yeah. You know, it's
I
funny.
wouldn't do it.
You know, it's funny. I brush my teeth with soap because all I'm interested in is just
Right.
surface tension, right? So
Right.
So literally when they say wash your mouth out with soap, that kind of thing.
I do.
That's so funny. Yeah. And other people use just salt, but natural sea salt to wash
Sure.
their teeth
Yeah,
with.
and baking soda is great. Sure.
Yeah. And the
Works.
coconut oil, the tooth drawing, using that, it'll
Yeah, or they call it
tooth
oil,
drawing,
oil pulling.
Oil pulling.
oil pulling. Yeah, that's right.
And so, yeah, a teaspoon of coconut oil. And
Yeah, swish, swish, swish. But you just don't swallow it. You spit it out.
you definitely need to spit it out. And you need to spit it out not in your sink because it will clog your pipes.
That's a toilet spit for me.
Well, even that is questionable.
I know.
You will create these fat icebergs in the sewage.
Mm.
If you want to be kind, put it in a garbage can.
Okay.
Solid.
I could do
In
that.
some toilet paper, but not in the toilet.
I got it.
Yeah.
Any
That is
questions?
fascinating.
Yeah,
Uh,
just
I've been-
amazing.
I've been looking for that.
I think there was one question from one of our family members who have tuned in, and it may have been answered. I don't see any more right now, but I think everybody's just finding this really useful. So we really appreciate your time and all the knowledge and the wisdom that you're parting amongst us all.
Yeah, happy to do that.
Martin, I had so much fun with you. You just have so much information. I could probably do this for 6 hours.
Okay.
No, she won't. She won't let me.
We would love to have you back again.
Sure.
And
I'm willing.
Thank you. It means a lot. We really appreciate the support. We appreciate your wisdom and all that you bring forward. And we're grateful for all that you're doing for the betterment for everybody's health and well-being.
Yeah,
Can we give everyone your website again?
sure. I put it in the
You put it in the chat.
it's life-enthusiast.com. I just keep thinking that there may be a affiliate thing, but
We will add this to the link into the link tree afterwards and make sure it's available for people.
Yeah, because you guys should get something for the work you do.
Thank you. We just love sharing wisdom that allows everybody else to be aware as to how consciously we need to really start living.
Yeah, I would actually like to pipe in with a bit on the topic of the vegan, vegetarian, vibrational, right? Like it definitely lets you advance faster on the spiritual path. When you go vegetarian, it's just more work, right? More difficult to do that. Yeah, I'm just looking up high vibes.
Sure. Yeah. We will definitely share your link.
Oh yeah, there it is. It's
Isn't
number 446, I think. Yeah, 446. So what you want to do is when you introduce this to people, I'm going to just jump in and edit this thing. Okay, one moment.
Okay, sure.
So the link should actually look like this. Oh man, I'm having trouble with myself. RF equals 446. This is what you want to put in your show notes.
Oh, let's see.
life-enthusiast.com.
Slash
/
question reference equals 446. That's your unique identifier. So your people your customers or your listeners should be coming to us through that link so that you people are given the credit for it.
Awesome. Through High Vibes Up. That's wonderful. Every little bit helps.
Yeah.
And what we're doing here on behalf of Kid and Candy, we're allowing them to just kind of take care of what needs to be taken care of. So we're guest hosting for them. And we want to appreciate your time and your knowledge. I know this didn't come to you overnight, and it's a lot of work, what you've done. And we really appreciate your knowledge, your ability to get it out and across to people who may not even have heard of what you're talking about. And how you did that today was brilliant. And we're very happy that you came to visit with us today.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Martin.
So sweet.
We have so much appreciation for you, and there's a lot of love and appreciation for all the High Vibes Up family and all our participants today, and we'll be getting this information out there for everybody to, improve their lifestyles.
Yes, indeed. There's room. It's possible.
And can they also get the nanosoma through that link as well?
Oh, yeah, all there.
Oh yeah.
All these
Definitely
gizmos
go.
and gadgets we discussed, all of it.
Definitely go there and get the nanosoma through that link. It's super easy. I was just reading on the feed that some people say this tastes terrible.
Yes.
I'm not having that experience personally.
Yeah, the more awful it tastes, the more out of balance you are. You're tasting your own stuff.
Okay, so that's your
98.
good.
Yeah, sorry, this thing is 98% water. Whatever you're tasting is coming from you.
So that would be their kind of know where they're at on this whole entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
that's incredible. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that.
There's a question from one of the participants on the chat here, and they're asked, and it's a question from Tony. He says, Martin, how good is magnesium oil?
Well, so we make magnesium oil in our own production. Magnesium oil is a misnomer because it feels oily when you touch it, but it's in fact a water solution of magnesium chloride. And ours is the fully saturated solution, meaning you push as much salt as the water will hold. If you put in more, it would stay on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And magnesium chloride, magnesium as such is a very important mineral. It's involved in about 300 or so different physiological processes in the body. And the most important thing you should know, it activates the parasympathetic side of the autonomic nervous system, which in plain speak, fight or flight is the sympathetic, rest and repair and digest is the parasympathetic. So if you have symptoms of high blood pressure or insomnia or nervousness and stuff, those are all sympathetic problems.
All right.
Magnesium, when you introduce it into the body, will shift you over toward parasympathetic. You can take magnesium orally or topically. When you take it orally, it activates the peristalsis. It causes a bowel flush. So when you take magnesium at a clinical dose, it will just empty your bowel inside of 20 minutes.
Right.
That's why we take this magnesium oil topically. We rub it on the chest or on the belly or on the thighs or wherever, feet. Because when you do that, then you absorb it through the skin. It hits the lymphatic system, bypassing the digestive.
Right.
And so what does magnesium do? It will relax muscles. Like, for example, calcium is the mineral that causes the or is involved with contraction, shortening, and magnesium is involved with lengthening. So an athlete, for example, will cause himself a muscle injury, a muscle tear, when doesn't have enough magnesium, because the calcium is strong and it will cause the muscle to, like the quad on the thigh is stronger than the hamstring. Pulled
Right.
hamstring is a classic injury of many athletes, and that's because they are not enough magnesium.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Another important thing going on of today is that Wi-Fi, 3G, 4G, 5G, triggers what's known as the voltage-gated calcium channel. So when this vibration comes through, it causes the flooding of all cells with calcium. So it makes you anxious, it makes you stressed. And it depletes the magnesium, trying to keep you from that. And so you need to push magnesium in order to stay calm, even though you're living in a stressed society.
That's huge. Thank you.
So does it come in like a spray or an ointment or a lotion?
So no, we sell it in a bottle.
Yeah, spray bottle?
We sell this magnesium chloride in two forms: crystals, as magnesium crystals, and as magnesium oil, which is a 4-ounce, 12-ounce, half-gallon of the liquid.
Okay. I'm just trying to think of a way that my 85-year-old dad would be able to apply it without it being that sticky, because everything, it's sticky. I can't go to sleep. I gotta, you know what I mean? Can you mix it?
Soak. Put
Okay.
soak. Like pretend that you're going to do a pedicure. You
Right.
don't have to do it, but put a bassinet,
Mhm.
put some water in it, and get some of the magnesium crystals. It's cheaper
Okay.
that way. And just put him in and let him soak it up that way.
Awesome. Yeah, because we can't give him too many of the internal ones because, he's gotta run to the loo.
Oh, he would just
Yeah.
flush.
Exactly.
But people who are constipated
It works.
love this. Take a shot of magnesium oil and then don't get in your car, because when
No.
it comes on, it will come with urgency.
Yeah. There's no holding that train back.
No, man. So that's magnesium for you in general. I mean, there's a lot of conversations about magnesium. Should I have magnesium citrate or sulfonate or sulfate or malate or blah, blah, blah. There are products out there that says, I have 7 kinds of magnesium in my product. Well, it's just still magnesium. So that's the important part.
Got it.
Thank
You are such a wealth of knowledge. I really appreciate your time.
Well,
You
I
have-
just take the time to explain it, right? This is the difference that I have found, that by explaining why, you don't wonder, well, why is he selling this thing? Well, because it helps you, and here's how.
I think it's brilliant, and I think you're brilliant. And I took so many notes. I literally don't have room left on my page.
Oh,
I mean, this is what I'm doing here.
all right.
So this is wonderful. So if anybody, would like to go on Martin's website, it's life-enthusiast.com. And
446.
Yep. And that's where you're gonna find that on Kid Candies. Is it the
It'll be in the link tree afterwards. We'll add it to the link tree.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, post that so that they get the credit, and we make it available as we tithe. We put in 10% of the dollars spent.
Oh, that's awesome.
Toward whoever referred the business.
Thank you for that.
Sure, happy to do it.
Let's see. Okay, yeah, I'm seeing that. Lifeenthusiast.com / REF as in Frank equals 446.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's what you'll be choosing. And we love that you came. What did I do?
No,
You're fine. You're still good.
Okay, here I
you're
am.
with us.
We love that you came on with us. We are so grateful for your time. I mean, honestly, I could have you on every week.
Sure, call me.
Oh my God.
I'll
Love
be
you.
calling you.
You're awesome.
Call me with questions, right? Like the
Yeah.
monologues are possible, but they're not nearly as much fun as inspired questions, right? Like when you asked, well, what about this nanosoma? Well, okay, we could explain it, right? Or when you ask, what about this magnesium oil? Well, we can explain it. Why, right? And it makes all the sense now that you know that if you're stressed, or if you're high blood pressure, or if you have diabetes, or if you have insomnia, you probably are out of balance with your minerals, and you probably are lacking magnesium.
Yep. Insomnia. It sure is.
Yeah.
Yep. You're awesome.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Okay, guys.
Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We are just loving you.
All
You will
right.
be coming back
be back.
very soon, I hope.
Okay. All the best. Take care.
Thank you, everyone.
We're going to say goodbye to the family tonight. We love you. We thank you for joining us. We know you could go many other places, but we are happy you're right here with us.
Thank you, everybody.
We'll see you next week.